So my name is Daniel Lissing. I am a 40-year-old South fan from the time I entered this world. I grew up in Sydney. I grew up in Maroubra, and later lived in Bondi. And then when I was around 30, I moved to the United States, where I'm a citizen of the States now. You know, Souths have been quite a big part of my life, as you can tell. So my relationship with Souths go back to the time that I was born. My family had moved over from Europe back in 1950, and my grandparents had two sons and a daughter. Souths had become part of, you know, the upbringing of my dad and my uncle. From an early age for them, they would go to games as much as they could, and they were involved with the club as fans early on. And then as life progressed, I'll speak to my father, he became quite heavily involved with Souths. And then in the late 90s, when Souths were kicked from the comp, my father, Jerry Lissing, and my uncle, Martin Lissing, along with Steve McDermott, said, we got to do something about this, guys. The team of people that got together and were instrumental in getting Souths back into the comp through the court cases and the rallies, everything. I was actually 18 years old in 1999, and I marched from Redfern to Town Hall, and I pulled out my guitar and I actually played a song in front of all of us South Sydney diehards and other fans from other clubs, NRL fans, right there on the steps of Town Hall, and that was a pretty proud moment for me. My dad, he's a humble man, so I watched his stuff, but he would work his ass off with my uncle and with the team that they had together, the Group 14, to fight for South during that time. And I remember so desperately wanting to just get South back in and go back to the games. You know, that was our happy place growing up, and it became that again. So South is in our DNA in the Lissing family, and I brought that South spirit with me to Los Angeles when I moved here. I'm an actor, I'm a writer and a producer, and I spend a lot of my time in that creative world, and it can be stressful sometimes, and like everyone's job, right? We know. But when footy season's on, that's sort of like the ritual for me. When footy season's on, I'll always find the time, and luckily it's so late at night that the game's there, I can find the time. I'm just tired the next day if they finish at like 5 a.m. my time, but worth it when we win. I got my father to thank for that. My mum and dad brought us to those games, and yeah, it's just good memories, you know. I can't wait to get back home to go to a game this season, hopefully. I'm so happy Cam Murray is captain for 2022. I think that it's a really great choice. That youthful energy that he's got, that go forward that he's got, love it. I'm just such a fan of Cam Murray's. I'm really, you know, these young guys coming up for me excite me a lot. I would love to see Blake Tappan, and you know, I was a fan of what he did for us last year. I mean, he had a lot of weight on his shoulders, and it just shows that not only is he a very skilled player, but he's got a lot of maturity for his age on the field. If I had to just pick one player, it's Cody Walker. Yeah, when they got that skill though, and they come up, I mean, Latrell Mitchell, how can I not say Latrell? Latrell's like, you know, one of the greatest players ever. Being part of the journey over here was sort of that touchstone of being being involved with South where I could be, and then being a fan, which is what I am, predominantly from over here. I mean, it's the best part of growing up for me. And by the way, I've written a song, a new one for South, and I've written one, and it's awesome.